Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. We have another example of the woke eating their own, and we love to see it. You love to see it. I love to see it. And if you wait long enough, you're gonna see it. It's only a matter of time. We have an article here from Phantom Pulse that caught my attention because the headline has to do with PC Gamer. PC Gamer, of all places. And you guys know exactly how PC Gamer is because we've covered a few of their articles in the past. It says PC Gamer editor bashes Dragon Age to Veilguard and declares that he's done with Bioware. Yes, the editor for PC Gamer is saying that he's done with the game that represents all of them.
We made it through. And this time, no dragon escaped.
Thanks to Tosh.
That's why we recruited her.
Actually, Tosh uses them for themselves now.
They asked us to let folks know, so now you do.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you for telling me.
Bruh.
That's why we recruited them.
So what's our next move, Rook?
I find this to be very interesting. I do. I find it to be very interesting whenever the woke eat their own, because let's be real. I understand that not everybody is the same at these journalist websites. Now, granted, we're talking to like, what, 3% that are not the same, but still, there are some people there that might have a little bit of, sanity to them left. They're not as insane as some of the rest, but ultimately, everybody has an epiphany at one point or another, and I think that's what's happening here. I think Dragon Age to Veilguard has woke up a lot of people. Even some of the people who were claiming to be on that particular side of the aisle, I still think it woke them up to the extent where now, apparently, the editor is bashing it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says PC Gamer online editor Fraser Brown has bashed Dragon Age to Veilguard and declared that he's done with Bioware moving forward. In an article titled, "After Holding Years of Hope, 2024 was a year I finally gave up on Bioware," Brown documented his history with Bioware and Dragon Age. So really quick, I think a lot of people are like that, right? There's people out there that are mega Bioware fans, or they were anyway, myself included. You guys already know my history with Mass Effect 3. I was a huge Bioware fan, and then when that debacle happened, I kind of lost faith in them. And then once Andromeda happened, I definitely lost faith in them. And then we're not even going to bother talking about Anthem. Right? Like Anthem. So I lost faith in them completely. I'm one of those people. But there are people out there that wasn't quite there yet, right? They weren't quite there in terms of losing faith, and they had hope. Like, they really had hope. They were like, okay, maybe Bioware will return to form, right? That's the wording they were having the journalists use to explain their brand new game. Return to form. They were hoping that was going to happen. And then they slowly but surely realized that's not happening, right? Bioware, unfortunately, is not returning to form. Bioware of today might as well just be Bioware in name. You might as well rename the studio at this point, because the people who are in charge over at Bioware, the ones who are making the video games now over at Bioware, it's not who they used to be. Not even close. It's not even close to being the same company, so you might as well just rename yourselves. But let's be real, they wouldn't be able to get any clout if they renamed themselves, so they keep the name Bioware because of that. So it says, after spending much of the article explaining his history with the company and the franchise, he then tore into Veilguard, declaring, "I really tried to enjoy myself. God, I tried so hard. I attempted to find nuggets of joy within its ham-fisted dialogue, one-note companions, and the flashy but soulless fights, but I just couldn't do it. Every time there was a glimmer of hope, it was dashed against rocks of infinite disappointment." Yes! Yes! That, oh my God, that right there is exactly what I said when I was playing Veilguard on Griffcast. I literally said, there's a couple of times during the game where you're like, wow, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. We're finally getting somewhere. Let's do this. Let's go. And then 5 to 10 minutes later, it just completely ruins it. It ruins it, and then you're like, why did I even bother? Like, why did I even bother thinking that we might actually have something here of worth? You know what I mean? And that happens at least 10 times in a game, right? And I'm talking like on a major level. There are some minor levels that happens on too, but on a major level, it's about 10 times that happens in the game, and it sucks. It really sucks, because you try to be objective. You try to look at it and say, okay, I know this is going to be woke. I know it's woke as shit, but let me try to find something. Nope, can't do it. The moment you start to find something, the game's like, hold up, wait a minute. Did you know this person's non-binary? Like, it's so stupid. And it's not even about the woke shit either. It's just the overall game as well. Like this person said, like Fraser said, flashy, overly flashy combat. You can clearly see that the combat is trying to look special instead of actually being special. That's really the disappointment in it. So then he continued, honestly, I'm amazed I finished it. There was certainly a point where I was starting to feel like I'd rather do anything else than listen to Hot Gray Warden talk about his big dumb bird for the 100th time, or play therapist to a giant dragon slayer who just wants to moan about how their mom doesn't understand him. These should have been great characters. A veteran knight reclaiming his order's lost legacy, a proud warrior wrestling with their cultural and gender identity. There's so much good stuff there. But nope, they're just plain boring. All of them. Nevertheless, after bashing the game, Brown made it clear that he was done with Bioware moving forward. When I got to the final cutscene that teased what we could expect for the next Dragon Age, it really sealed the deal. I am out. Bioware just isn't telling stories I care about anymore. Instead of moping around, I'm moving on. Bioware had an exceptional run, but the developer is long gone. What's left is just an EA studio that makes middling games that I'm not really interested in. Woo! Damn. Talk about a cook. That is just a beautiful thing. Yes, what he's saying is true. Ironically, and I'm sure like this kind of person I ideologically disagree with on a multitude of different things, but what he is saying about Veilguard is absolutely true. Even if you want to ignore the woke nonsense that's in the game, quite frankly, it's just badly written, badly performing. The game is garbage in terms of its gameplay. None of it is fun for the most part. It overstays its welcome very quickly. Like 2 hours into the game, you feel like you've seen everything that the combat has to offer. There is nothing that's going to keep you there interested all the way to the end. The only ones who are finishing it are streamers that finish it for their content or journalists that finish it for their review, if they even finish it at all, which most of them haven't, by the way. So you end up getting to this situation where all you got to do is look at SteamDB and you'll realize that the achievements show everything, right? SteamDB shows that only about 30% of people finish the game. I mean, I don't even think it's that high, to be honest. I think it's like 20, 27 or some percent like that, something like that. But it's not even that high, right? One third of the people finish the game. That's it. 1/3. So where's the other 2/3? What they're just not playing the game? Like they just gave up? Of course they did. They said, you know what, this is stupid. And if they couldn't refund the game, they just threw it away. And they're like, all right, whatever. It's money lost, unfortunately. And that's what we try to avoid. On this channel, we try to be as transparent as possible with the video games that we talk about and what we showcase on Grifcast in the hopes to try to avoid people wasting their money. But you can't save everybody. You know, people are going to buy the game no matter what because they're going to be like, nope, he's just an angry grifter. He's just a chud, whatever. And then they end up paying the game and like, wow, this is really bad. This is really bad. You can't really defend this, right? So that's where we're at here with Dragon Age the Veilguard, and that's where it seems like this guy is at as well. And it's amazing because, again, he works for PC Gamer. Like, I feel like in order to work at PC Gamer, you have to vote Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of the resume. Like, you have to be a blue no matter who kind of a person. So anyway, it says, interestingly enough, Brown previously panned the game when it released at the end of October, but he was not as harsh in his criticism. Instead, he compared the game to Marvel's Avengers. It is polished and competent Bioware action RPG that follows a safe conventional pattern. The old Bioware magic has been codified and sanitized and now feels dated. Even more so, Bioware's actually pretty old RPGs. It is as broad, predictable, and inoffensive as a crowd-pleasing Marvel movie. All flashy, clean, and easy to digest. So it has the power to be entertaining, but never in a way that will stick with you. There are no big swings, no risks, no shocks, and while I've enjoyed some of it for most of my 4th trip across status, I have been left pretty bored. And honestly, I don't know what John and Trent is talking about. I think this is cooking. I think this is just as cooking as the other part. Maybe just a little bit less, but overall, I mean, he cooked them no matter what. So it's good to see that there are some journalists out there. There are some people out there in the mainstream establishment that are waking up to this nonsense, and they're choosing to at least have some level of honesty to them to admit, okay, we may not ideologically agree, and that's okay, but we can all agree that Dragon Age the Veilguard was shit, which I think that we could agree on. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.